Hey there! So today we have another Battle Beers. I told you guys I'd be doing Fatheads multiple times, and now I've actually just made it a little bit more interesting. The last video I did on Fatheads was against Highlight with the Cuvée and all that cool stuff. Guess what? We have another world-class IPA. The Highlight is more of my pick on world-class IPA. I think that's just like GABF, World Beer Cup, all that crazy stuff. This is like in craft beer geeks' mind, like definitely one of the hype IPAs out there that you can find. So one's my pick. This one's just generally like a craft beer geeks pick of a hype IPA. So the other cool thing is that these are actually two very analogous beers. These are two West Coast inspired IPAs. I actually just reviewed this, so I was like, well, might as well crack Fatheads. I will say with my journey of Fatheads, I've gone deep in the rabbit hole. Basically, we have production issues at work. At least with the production of IPA and getting IPA on draft. So I've been told, I pushed my managers to order Fatheads Highlight. Fatheads. Just think about beers. Fatheads Headhunter. So we've been selling through at least a case a week, easy. Because if you don't have an IPA as a craft brewery on draft, like what are you doing? Which is another issue, but whatever. I've been selling the hell out of this guy. Been loving it. So with that, I also been like having one after my shift, like most nights. So I've actually been drinking through a good amount of Headhunter. Like, again, one. I'm not doing like multiples, but so I'm quite familiar with this beer right now. So just review this guy. Let's dig back into this. So, like, I've obviously shot like, a handful of videos for you guys of this beer, but I've had at least a couple handfuls more of this beer in the last few months. And I'm super happy because like they keep sending it fresh, man. This one for me is actually like going on like 7 weeks, but I've been getting like 2 week fresh Headhunter at work, so maybe I'll just grab some of that and review some of it for you guys. But the difference is actually very close. This is like 5 weeks, this is like 7 weeks, so let's think this one. Yeah, rich, dank, a little bit of that like pear fruit candy thing, lively, kind of just like West Coast kind of like marijuana dankness, but also a little bit of gasoline tone, a little bit of biscuity malt. Super fruity up front. This beer I feel like has dropped off a bit. I feel like I'm spoiled by like the cans are like literally weeks fresh. Bitter, long, dry, a little bit of biscuity malt. Wow. Okay. I'm willing to say it now. This beer does not last that long. We're on in fridge. I mean, I probably had it like, on my like 70-ish degrees for a few weeks, but in fridge for the rest of the time, this beer does not taste as good as it was when I got it like 2-3 weeks fresh. Wow, interesting. The fruitiness doesn't seem as dominant, but it has an echoing hop character. Wow, so clean. It's dumb clean. Like, once the bitterness comes, it's dry, lean, disappears on the palate. Real fun. Interesting. Let's dig back into the lunch, just like AB, because I mean, obviously, reviewed this for you guys already and just reviewed it like, in my mind. But like, one of the great things you do about like tasting beers, you do the AB, like one against the other, like battle beers, like well, I call battle beers, but like, it's one thing to have two beers back to back, but have them side by side is also very different, right? So they're very similar beers. So this one, for me, again, goes with that kind of grass jelly thing. It's grassy, definitely more sweet, which is crazy to say about lunch. Lunch is a very dry beer, but this beer is so bone dry that it's almost like a brewed IPA compared to this beer. Nice kind of attack of like sweet, fruity grapefruit thing with that like fruity hoppiness that's like a little bit generic, but like it's like pine covered on top of this kind of like general like melon and citrus fruit character. And there's also this kind of almost like fresh sugarcane juice kind of thing going on to this beer. It goes with grassiness, vegetal, in a good way vegetal. But this is kind of grassy greens, sugarcane, fresh sweetness, and vegetal characters to this beer. Excuse me. This beer seems at this point seems to have a little bit more hop complexity, but neither beer is actually that fruity. So if you guys hazy IPA guys, we're not here for that right now. Yeah, okay, let's do that. I feel like this might have been a little bit more. So now we do a Headhunter's Lunch. That's got to be the way to say it, right? Yeah, Headhunter's Lunch. That's a funny name for a beer. Cuvée Headhunter's Lunch. Oh, if I had to prefer one at the exact moment. Yeah, man. I don't know what happened, but I feel the batch I have right now is just, it's fallen off the cliff. I don't know what happened. Like, and I've been drinking this fresh. You know, like the cases I've been getting at work and drinking for the last month or so taste vastly different. They have a really signature kind of flavor that I was getting when I reviewed it for you guys for the first few weeks. It's like pear candied, rich, exotic hoppiness, and it would explode out of the can, all this stuff. I feel like this beer has fallen off the cliff a little bit. I don't know why. I kept it mostly in the fridge. Did I keep it in the car? No, I didn't. Again, might have sat in the 70-degree shelf for a few weeks at worst. I don't know. Let's try the Cuvée. Cheers. I will say I feel a little sad. This is not the best comparison right now. In general, this beer would crush this beer. I mean, I just reviewed this game 94. When this was on point, this was easily 100, and I actually enforce it now when I'm drinking it fresh. I'm cool with this guy being at least a 99 in my book. So, or 100. I bet Cuvée is amazing. It takes away the flaws from this beer. It, again, like, I generally find that you can have success with Cuvée beers because you're just adding more complexity on top of complexity, right? There's certain points of the palate that this beer is missing, and certain points of the palate that this beer is missing, and just like layering on top of it. And I think that's part of the reason why we don't see single hop beers anymore, because it's just like you know, I don't know if you guys remember, but about a decade ago, a lot of breweries were like single hop this, single hop that, single hop this, single hop that, and I think what happens is that you get a very hollow beer in the sense that you're only expressing hop flavor at certain points on the palate, versus when you blend hops, you're melding things and you're building like flavors to offer a wider range of flavor intensity throughout the palate, right? So imagine like, you know, I mean, I'm gonna just draw like a EQ graph or roller coaster for you guys. Imagine like a beer can just go like this, and go like that, and that's it. But if you're like layering hops on top of each other, maybe you might not express one hop as much, but it's just hops, and you're enjoying the ride all the way, right? There's no peaks and valleys. There's flavor more covered throughout the palate. And, you know, ideally the goal is to have a full experience of hop flavor when you're making IPAs. And yeah, I mean, on the market, I can't think of many single hop beers anymore. They're just covering them up with like many different hops to offer more and more boosts of flavor, right? So the Cuvée is very good. The Cuvée is very good. Oh my God. I think the Highlight Headhunter one I ended up not liking. This is amazing. It actually pulls back from how bone dry this beer is, with a little bit of sugary sweetness here. And then like the vegetal works well with like the piney dankness here. Everything just plays. It's very good. So I'm probably actually just going to enjoy this beer by itself, like for the rest of, you know, instead of like Cuvée for the rest of the night. But the Cuvée is absolutely amazing. If you have the luck to get, isn't it a crazy world that I live in Florida, 1,000 miles from this brewery, probably 1,000 miles from this brewery, and these are two world-class beers. This is won all the medals. This one is like up all the craft beer geeks' minds of like one of the best West Coast IPAs out you can get in the market. And I'm able to find both, Cuvée them, enjoy where it's at. I'm a very rich man and a man that lives in Florida that's so far from these breweries. So, great Cuvée. This got a 94. This gets 100 when it's fresh. This right here is like 100 right here. No, maybe not. Whatever, it's like an A+. Whatever. I'm not gonna like give you a rating for a Cuvée. It's a very, very, very good Cuvée. It's like A+ or something like that. Check it out. Post in the comments what you think. Man, I wish I got. I don't know, man. Here, let's try it again. I want to say this is not where it's at. Like, I literally just had one like 24 hours ago after work, a fresher batch. Yeah, man. There's no way. Wow, interesting. It's like, is it like darker too? I don't know, man. I don't know. This can, I'm a little suspect of it, but the cuvee is fantastic. The beer is certainly still there, but it's just not like. I'm honestly very disappointed for you guys because like I wanted this to be an awesome side by side, and something happened here that's like a little bit question about. I'm not saying like this is a complete off beer or quality. Like it came from the same six pack that I had been doing reviews for you guys, or same case that I've been doing reviews for you guys. But like 5 weeks in, or sorry, 7 weeks in the fridge, it just hasn't lasted that well. I don't know what happened, but this is still very good. The cuvee is fantastic. Until next time, cheers later.